every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light. Through stormy weather, through the pain, with open hearts, we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall, in the rainbow's embrace, we'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dream, a tapestry of love, woven at the seams. With every hue of voice is strong, together is one, where we all belong. It's you and me, we'll rise above, in the rainbow's embrace, we spread our love. In every corner of the earth we sing, a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar, together as one, forevermore.
Good evening and welcome to the Universal Rainbow Faith Church right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Paula Sadler and I am the founding minister and president of Universal Rainbow Faith. And we are coming to you here today live on Sunday, August 17th, 2025. So welcome to our Sunday weekly live stream. Streaming right here from Las Vegas, Nevada in the historic Commercial Center District. And welcome on YouTube, welcome on TikTok, and welcome on Facebook. And to all of those who will be viewing this broadcast later, thank you for being here this evening. Our monthly theme, Walking in Courage and Overcoming Fear. Our weekly theme this week is Sacred Sexuality and the Divine Within. So welcome, beloveds. Tonight we honor the sacred wholeness of our bodies, spirits, and desires. Sacred sexuality reminds us that love, pleasure, and intimacy are not shameful, and that they are holy. To walk in courage this month means overcoming fear and reclaiming the beauty of our divine embodiment. Your mission statement. Universal Rainbow Faith is a sacred spiritual home where LGBTQIA+ people and allies are fully affirmed, celebrated, and protected. We believe that gender, love, and identity are expressions of the Creator. Our mission is to uplift, heal, and empower individuals through spiritual truth, radical inclusion, and sacred community. Activating the rainbow light of love to affirm the sacredness of every person, especially those long denied, excluded, or erased. We exist to heal spiritual trauma, celebrate LGBTQIA+ divinity, and restore dignity to all people across body, mind, and spirit. And let us affirm. We affirm the activating presence of sacred power within us. We are the living light of transformation, resilience, and divine justice. Together we rise with love, truth, and purpose. And let us take a few moments to just center ourselves. And so I invite you to take a deep breath in wherever you're at right now. Just take a deep breath in, knowing that your body is holy within and without. And exhale. And let us take another deep breath in, really settling into the holiness of our body, mind, and spirit, and of our physical bodies. And as we breathe out, I invite you to release any fear and shame around your body and who you love and who you are. Release that fear and shame. And know that with every breath, we are reclaiming our divine beauty. With the next breath in, you reclaim your divine beauty, knowing that you are sacred. And so today we're going to do a review of some of our guiding documents. We have our Universal Rainbow Faith Official Doctrine and Statement of Faith, our URF preamble from our website. We, the followers of the Universal Rainbow Faith, URF, recognize and affirm the sacred divinity of all identities, genders, and expressions of love. We believe that every person is created in their perfect form, that diversity is a divine gift, and that each individual has the right to live authentically as a sacred expression of truth. Our faith is built on love, inclusion, and spiritual enlightenment, a path that honors interconnectedness of all beings, the sacred nature of self-identity, and the divine right to be seen, affirmed, and celebrated. Our official mission statement of the Universal Rainbow Faith, URF. Universal Rainbow Faith exists to restore and elevate the sacred traditions, histories, and divine rights of queer, trans, and gender expansive people that have been erased or suppressed throughout time. Through inclusive worship, empowering teachings, and global community, we reclaim spiritual spaces and offer sanctuary, affirmation, and legal protection to all who seek to live in their divine truth. We are building a faith rooted in radical love, where every identity is sacred and every soul is seen. Vision Statement of Universal Rainbow Faith, URF. Activating the rainbow light of love. Universal Rainbow Faith envisions a world where every expression of identity, love, and truth is honored as sacred. We are building a global spiritual movement rooted in radical inclusivity, where LGBTQIA+ individuals are not only welcomed, but divinely affirmed as central to the unfolding of spiritual truth. We exist to restore and elevate the sacred traditions, histories, and divine rights of queer, trans, and gender expansive people that have been erased or suppressed throughout time. Through our worship, teachings, and community, we reclaim spaces and offer sanctuary, empowerment, and legal protection to all who seek to live in their light. Our faith transcends borders, bringing together diverse cultures, histories, and beliefs into one tapestry of divine rainbow light. We believe every person is a sacred reflection of the divine, worthy of joy, justice, and spiritual liberation. And our Universal Rainbow Faith Official Doctrine and Statement of Faith, Core Belief and Teachings from our website, registered on March 20th, 2025, and affirmed in our first service, March 31st, 2025. 1. Sacred identity and divine expression. Every person's gender identity, sexual orientation, and self-expression are sacred and divine. The human soul is a spiritual light uniquely reflected in the way we love, present, and exist. Any attempt to suppress or deny a person's true self is a violation of their divine nature. 2. Love is the highest power. Love in all forms between consenting adults, in friendships, and in self-acceptance is a sacred and powerful force. The act of self-love and self-affirmation is a holy practice, as each person carries divine energy. Our faith recognizes and sanctifies same-sex, non-binary, polyamorous, and gender-diverse unions. The body as a sacred vessel. Each person's body is a temple to be honored and cared for. Gender-affirming care, self-expression, and bodily autonomy are spiritual rights. Any law, practice, or doctrine that denies bodily autonomy is an act against our faith. 4. Spiritual awakening and community. We seek to uplift, guide, and support one another on our spiritual journeys. Our places of worship, whether digital, in homes, or in sacred gathering spaces, are safe havens for all. We recognize LGBTQ+ pride events and key milestones such as name changes, transitions, and self-discoveries as sacred rituals. The power 5, the power of the rainbow light. The rainbow is a divine symbol of unity, transformation, and balance. Light exists in all spectrums, just as human identity does. Each color represents a spiritual path: red for passion, blue for wisdom, violet for enlightenment, and so on. 6. Religious freedom and protection. URF is a fully recognized religious faith and must be protected under religious freedom laws. Any discrimination against LGBTQ+ individuals or refusal to recognize URF as a valid belief system is an act of religious persecution. We claim the right to practice freely, conduct sacred rituals, and be legally recognized as a faith. And so that is just a review, since we did have our quarterly update most recently, and all of those can be seen on our website under universalrainbowfaith.org and our teachings and core beliefs. So I invite you to visit the website and to get in touch with that. And now we have our announcements. As we talked about, our theme this week is Imperfect Balance. It is healing the divine feminine and masculine. And we're going to explore the war on gender today, love and sacred power, and the call to heal and unite. And as we are confronting the global spiritual crisis surrounding gender, bodily autonomy, and love, we courageously name harmful agendas seeking to erase and criminalize transgender, queer, and non-conforming people, and offer a healing vision of balance and sacred sexuality rooted in divine truth and love. We have our new meditation we will have today. This will lead us into deep healing of the divine feminine and masculine within. We balance sacred sexual energies and send light to all affected by toxic dualities and societal fear. We have our new worship song today, In Perfect Balance, that we will hear later on. And our sacred quote of the week: you are a divine expression of love. And let's say that together. I am a divine expression of love. I am a divine expression of love. And let us turn to the nature of miracles, our sacred and holy text. This is available on Amazon as a paperback, hardcover, and ebook. And so one way that we use our text is that we just ask the question, Dear Father, Mother, God, or God, whatever name that you have to give to that higher power that feels close to you, we just say, what do we need to know today, or what do I need to know today? What do we combine that? What do I need to know today in order to grow? And what do our URF members need to know today? And also the world. What do we need to know in order to grow? And we give thanks for that, and we see that guidance and that coming as the most perfect right and perfect answer that we need at this time. And then you just open it to wherever you feel guided to it. We give thanks for that. And somehow it opened right to a page that is bookmarked. And I think that this must have been bookmarked from last week. And that's how it works. You never know where you're going to get that guidance from and how it's going to come. But let's see. Let's see what's in this reading today. Okay. This was from December 3rd, 2001. Hello and welcome to today's pages. This week is all about faith. I'm in week 12 of The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, marking my 90 days of doing morning pages, which I actually started in August. And so this has taken me 5 months to complete. What are the morning pages? Well, first I recommend buying The Artist's Way for yourself and finding out. The course has proven to be of great value as it seemed to be just what I needed in my life. I continue to feel the principles of it working for me in positive ways in my life. I have gained clarity and more creativity, work through fears and illusions, and move closer to God by realizing my own capacity for creativity. I'm working this week towards recovering a sense of faith. What is faith? What does it mean to me? Can I see it? Faith is the belief in parts of myself that I cannot see. An example of a faith-building exercise is to say, I believe that I can and will accomplish all of my dreams. Having faith for me is my belief in God, Spirit, angels, and an unseen world of vibrations, energy, emotions, love, and light. For you, it may be different, but still, I feel there should be a common goal: to develop awareness that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, and to gently return to this awareness as often as possible when we are sidetracked with the trivial things in life. There is another world underneath the physical. I've seen it with my own eyes. While in deep meditation, I have experienced closeness with God, with my guardian angels, and with the spirit. Oh, just a moment. And with the spirit world in general. Maybe our spirit is our dreams, the energy contained within our dreams, or maybe our spirit is, in essence, the energy of our dreaming minds, and what we believe our reality to be is just a waking conscious dream. We may have daydreams of becoming the next pop star or Nobel Prize winner or Grammy Award winner. Whatever your dreams are, that is real. That is the real you. The power of the mind is great and can move you to your dreams, whatever they are. The power of many minds is even greater when working together towards a common goal. And our channeled guidance. Dear God, what is it that we need to know today about ourselves in order to grow? Dear children of the earth, you're being gently guided today to a new reality. Your reality, as you have known it, is changing. With the power of your minds, you are making a new reality. The reality of a heaven on earth and a new earth is upon you, and begins in each person within the reality of their own minds. Each person manifests their own separate reality, and no two persons will ever see the same thing at once. There can be a general feeling of togetherness, but when three people were asked to look at the sky, tell what they see, one may say, I see a white cloud shaped like an angel. And another may say, I see a blue bowl full of marshmallows. Another may say, I don't see anything. It is when you work together towards a common goal that your power is greatest. Now asking the same three people to focus on the clouds and ask how it makes them feel and what images does it bring to mind. You will get different viewpoints based on personal realities, but still working together towards a common goal. These are examples of the multidimensional personalities and realities each person has. And because of their experiences, they manifest their own reality. Children unite with a common goal to see the God or good in everyone and thing and in yourselves. Work towards a joyful relationship with yourself and God and good orderly direction. The angels are watching and guiding you with love, and I am watching you not to judge, but to guide you and advise you when you are lost. I'm the bread trail in the magic forest, like the one from the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel and the gingerbread house. Unlike the fairy tale, Hansel and Gretel's bread trail was eaten by the birds, but in real life, if the birds should eat the trail to home that you have left, know that there was really no need to leave a trail at all, because home is within you. Because I am within you. I am there within you. Turn inwards and ask to be led out of any darkness. I am there. And Spirit says, true reality begins in your dreams. And that is our reading from this week's Nature of Miracles from page 117 to 119. Okay. And we have our announcements. That is part of our announcements. Okay. Our upcoming services, mark your calendars for August 24th, 2025, From Shame to Sanctuary, honoring sacred desire, honoring Saint Gwen Orujo, and we'll have a new weekly quote and meditation and music. August 31st, Joy as Resistance, the sacred power of celebration, honoring Saint Sophie Lancaster. And our community news and updates. Be on the lookout for upcoming releases on Amazon of my new book, The Garden and the Flame, The Nature of Miracles Journal Workbook, companion to Volume 1, the A to Z Alphabet Prayer Book, and coming later, The Nature of Miracles Volume 2, Real Life Miracle Stories. I'm also excited to announce working on a new speaking series that will be launching soon. Topics include gender, miracles, healing, and hope. And you can get all of this information at universalrainbowfaith.org. Tune in every week and join us on Sundays at 5:30. You can see us on YouTube, Facebook, and on TikTok. Now on Facebook, it is under my personal page, Paula Sadler, because right now we're still building our followers on the Universal Rainbow Faith page so that we can go live on Facebook on its own dedicated page. So thank you, and please donate and support. Your donations help us to continue this sacred work, supporting spiritual healing, LGBTQI plus visibility, and divine justice. You can donate at universalrainbowfaith.org. And those are all of our announcements for today. And this month we continue to honor our Saint Sophie Lancaster, the defender of the misunderstood. Sophie's legacy calls us to protect those who are different. Tonight, we affirm that our differences in body, love, sexuality, and gender are divine gifts from the Creator. And you can see all of our guardians online at universalrainbowfaith.org and all of our saints and divine guardians. Our children's message this week: your body is a temple of love. And let us affirm that together. My body is a temple of love. My body is a temple of love. And that is a simple reminder for all of our children, our young adults, our teenagers, and also all in our community, that your bodies are not wrong. They are beautiful, and they are miracles, just as you are, made by love, for love, and made for joy and expression, with no shame and no guilt, to be exactly as you are, and to be exactly as you are becoming, and as the divine wills you to be, in joy, in love. And we recognize you, we affirm you, and we love you just as you are and who you are becoming. And so know that the body is a temple, a holy temple to do God's work, and it is in my body that God is present in every cell. I feel the power of God when I think of my body as a divine instrument for God's work. Page 105, The Nature of Miracles. My body, my love, and my truth are sacred. Let's say that again. My body, my love, and my truth are sacred. And so this week we are exploring sacred sexuality and the divine within. And we are exploring the courage to reclaim sexuality as not something to be despised or loathed or thought of as sinful, but as actually holy and beautiful and natural. For too long, religion has distorted our bodies and desires as sinful. But yet, Spirit whispers a different truth, my friends. Our bodies are temples. Our love is divine. And our sexuality is sacred energy flowing from Source. So to walk in courage means to release fear, shame, and oppression, and step into freedom, joy, and intimacy with God, self, and others. And our affirmation: I am whole, I am holy, my body, my love are sacred. I am whole, I am holy, my body and my love are sacred. And as we look around at the news and in the times we are living, what we're seeing is a war on gender and sacred power. And now we are being called to heal and to unite. And tonight we are confronting the global spiritual crisis surrounding gender, bodily autonomy, and love. And we courageously name the harmful agendas seeking to erase and criminalize transgender, queer, and non-conforming people, and offer a healing vision of balance and sacred sexuality rooted in divine love and truth. So, my beloveds, we gather here today in the time of spiritual urgency, a moment in history that calls us not to shrink but to stand, not to remain silent but to speak boldly from the mountaintop of truth. We are witnessing an intensifying war, not a metaphorical one, but a literal one, an organized war on gender, sex, and our sacred autonomy. And that is also why we reviewed our core beliefs this evening and core tenets, knowing that one of our core beliefs is that our bodies are sacred and holy, bodily autonomy is sacred and holy. And so across this nation and spreading across the globe, there is a coordinated attack on transgender lives, as we can see, on women's rights, on transgendered women and non-transgender women's rights, and on the spiritual freedom of all who dare to live outside of patriarchal norms. And in the name of God, we are seeing bills passed that ban gender-affirming care. We are watching as abortion rights are stripped from state after state. There are open threats, yes, open threats to roll back women's right to vote even. Laws targeting trans women in sports, bathroom bans, criminalization of drag and social media, censorship, all mirror one thing: the demonization of embodiment. And so let us be clear, this is not just about trans women. This is about all women and not just trans people. This is about all people who do not conform to a narrow definition of gender or sexuality. And recently, it was brought to my attention that the services have been being enjoyed, but if it gets too political or seems political, that somehow that's not right for the universal rainbow faith, and we should be focusing on inspiration, spiritual inspiration. But my friends, I tell you this, that if there are laws that are out there that are criminalizing the members of the universal rainbow faith for being who they are, criminalizing LGBTQIA plus people, that is not only something that is political in a sense and happening by certain individuals within the government, not only here in the United States, but around the world, different governments, different places, and many who have faced and will face religious persecution up to including death. That is an affront to the universal rainbow faith. That is an affront to a loving God that created all of us in his or her or its own image. And so it is something that's extremely important. It's a moment in our time, in our history, that we must stand, because if we are to not stand, there are graves that are 6 feet under in which we will be. There are ovens in which we will be cremated because our bodies will be dead and no longer here. And that is through violence. And how do we fix that in this world that so desperately needs it? Is it going to come from getting up here and telling you beautiful and fluffy and nice things without really getting into the core of the matter and what is the real challenge that we're facing? How do we heal the violence within others? It's not within ourselves. We're not the ones out there making laws to criminalize our own existence, to harm our children so they don't get the care that they need, to take away the right to marry and to love, and to create beautiful unions that are actually uplifting the planet and the world and this country and everyone. We are not the ones doing that. So we must confront what is really happening and going on. And it's not a political debate. It is not us versus them. We are all one global community. We are all in one world, and we share this world, and we must learn to work together and overcome these challenges. And we will through spiritual power, spiritual practice, through prayer and meditation and affirmation. But we first must recognize the thing that is out there. And a new thought is very important. Denials and affirmations are used. We can recognize the challenge and the problem as it is, not so that we're not living in a world of spiritual make-believe, but we don't give it power. We don't authenticate it as having any power over us. And we could say that about a government or a law or anything that criminalizes who we are and what we are doing. And so that is why we're bringing these topics up. It is actually a spiritual matter, my friends. If you truly believe what we are teaching here, that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. We are sharing this earth reality, whatever it is. None of us really know because we'll be here for a very short time. You're lucky to live 70 to 80 years if you're lucky on this planet. Some maybe living to 100 or more. Some, leaving this planet much sooner than that. And we only know what we know from the moment of our conception to the time we're maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years old, when we begin to develop history with this planet and with its people, with our family. We only know what we read, what's been told to us by others who are in our circle of influence, by our parents and grandparents, by the elders of the tribe, by the others, those stories that have been passed down, what's been written for centuries. We can only theorize truly upon it. We can only take it upon faith that those things actually existed and happened. So my question for you, what are you doing here on the planet? Why are you here? Are you going to be a part of the problem? Or are you going to be part of the solution? Do you choose to live in love, or do you choose to perpetuate fear and oppression and violence and war? Or will you be a part of a great and magnificent spiritual revolution that's happening here in the moment now in our lifetime that you and I are sharing together? So that is why we must talk about these things. So know that it is not political, but it is spiritual. And when it comes to our faith and what we believe and who we are, that is something that we must address and we must overcome, because that is why the universal rainbow faith exists. We exist here to protect you who are out there, whether you're LGBTQIA or not, whether you identify or don't identify, it doesn't really matter. To protect you from religious persecution, to protect you from religious discrimination by offering you religious freedom, the freedoms of this powerful movement that we are in called the Universal Rainbow Faith. And so let us move on. The same systems that once burned women as witches, that enslaved bodies in the name of power, that outlawed love between two men or two women, know that those same systems are rising again, my friends, with new branding, new language, and new technology. The technology that you and I are sharing on tonight, social media, our telephones. And know that their root is the same, with a capital C: control, control, control. And who are the ones leading this charge? I want you to think about that. It is evangelical leaders like Pastor Doug Wilson of the so-called Communion of Reformed Evangelical Churches, CREC, based in Idaho. I was just shocked in a recent CNN interview that I watched. that Wilson made his mission very clear. He said this: I would like to see this nation being a Christian nation, and I would like this world to be a Christian world. He openly dreams of a Christian theocracy, a world dominated by one version of Christianity, his version, under one ruling patriarchal order, his order, with no room for queer people, for trans bodies, for sex-positive spiritualities, for pluralism, or for freedom. They claim that this will be achieved by a peaceful means, but we know what they call peace is often code for submission, for us to submit and for us to become medically detransitioned, to be forced by government detransition or transition, to become what they want us to be, to live how they want us to live, to love who they want us to love, to have our bodies and our expressions, not as I am right now, as he would have me be, or others who believe in that would have me or you be. There is no freedom in that. That is total control and total power and dominion over our very sacred bodies. That is not just for the LGBTQIA community. That is for everyone in the entire world is being looked at to be forced into that kind of submission. And that is a spiritual atrocity. That is a spiritual war on the sacredness and divinity of self-expression. So, we must ask ourselves today, who defines morality, and by what authority do they strip others, of you and me, of rights and dignity? What kind of conversion is being demanded of the world, and why should the world convert to their brand of religion, to their strict binary views, to their anti-woman and anti-trans and anti-sexuality dogmas? What does it mean to be told that our bodies, our identities, our loves are unholy? You are being told right now, and I am being told, that who we love and who we are is unholy and sinful. If that's not religious persecution and religious discrimination, I don't know what it is. If you have a better word for that, I'd like to know about it. We do call it self-righteousness as well. And so, when our very existence is a living proof of divine creativity, you and I are living proof of divine creativity. Otherwise, we would not be here. So, who truly needs converting? The loving, diverse, joyful people of the rainbow faith, and those who are like us, or those who weaponize scripture to silence and shame? I want you to think about that. So let us be clear. There is nothing moral about oppression, and there is nothing righteous about removing a woman's right to choose or criminalizing a trans child's journey to authenticity. There is nothing holy about a bathroom ban or a forced pregnancy. What we are seeing is a patriarchal empire rising again, and it is an empire cloaked in religious language and religious persecution. But it is fueled by only fear and a lust and a greed for domination over you and me and those like us. And I will tell you, it is not Christianity. It is not Christ-like. It is not Christ, and it is not love. So let us just take that in for a moment. And this same group and these same people would seek to silence me and those who have this message of freedom and lifting of oppression and of the truth about our true nature of who we are as God's children, as beings and creations from a most beautiful and loving source. And if this was not a loving source that created you and me, I could not be standing up here to tell you that. But this has come upon us in this time, and we are in desperate need to remember the true spiritual principles that are guiding humanity to, not to our extinction, but to evolving our awareness and into including everyone in our world community, and to uplift. And the only way we can do that, prayer, meditation, affirmation, and we also must know that these oppressive forces do not have any power over us. They do not have any power over you. Do not give them power, and they will not have the power. I recently watched a broadcast of a clip of Malcolm X from, it was either the late 50s, I assume the early 60s, and it was some kind of governmental hearing, and he was a senator or something, and they asked him, well, what is your name? And he says, my name is Malcolm X. He says, no. He says, what is your proper name? What was your father's name? And what was your grandfather's name? What was their name? And it was so beautiful and so eloquent how he answered this. And he was not going to let that senator or that person, that interviewer, take away his spiritual identity and power. And you know how he did that? And I invite you to also do this, is that he would not claim the name he was given. And do you know why he would not claim that name? Because he said that that name came from a slave owner that was passed down to his father and his grandfather and his great-grandfather, because slaves were often given the names of their slave master to denote their ownership. And so he was Malcolm X, not whatever name had been given, and he would not give his name to that man. He was claiming his power in that moment. He would not give it away, because that is not who God intended him to be. And he was not going to claim that name to be connected with that energy of oppression and slavery and violence and death and murder and mayhem and rape and all of those terrible things that happened to so many millions of people. And the people who built this country, helped to build this country and many parts of the world with their blood and their sweat and their tears and their suffering. And I thought about that, and I said, wow, that is powerful. He knew who he was. He knew who God made him to be. And he would not let this society and this world take that from him. And he would not give them that power. And I say that to you as well. Whatever name you have chosen for yourself, if you are transgender and you have changed your name, or you've taken on a new identity, a new persona, and that is part of now your spiritual unfolding, your spiritual power, your spiritual identity. That is your power. And by others coming in, they call it dead naming, or they use a name, misgendering. They are attempting, these people, to take away your power. They want to disrupt the power that roots you not only firmly into this earth, into this place, but also connects you to a higher source. But don't give them that. Don't give them that power. You claim your spiritual power, and whoever that is, whoever you are, whatever that may be, your gender expression, your identity, your chosen name, that is who you came here to be. That is who you are supposed to be. For every child and teenager and young adult, and all those in our community, all the way up to our elders in our community, do not let anyone take your power. You hold on to that power, and you claim your identity as authentic and beautiful and holy from the divine, from God. And that is true. That is more true than what you are hearing out there and trying to take away our power and to erase a whole people. And when you are trying to do that, when people are being forced to convert or to take away their identity and their spirituality and who they are, that is a form of genocide, my friends. Actual genocide. We may not be being put into ovens or lined up in a row and shot at this time, or hung or thrown into rivers or whatever it is, but some are being thrown into jails. They're looking to medically detransition through taking away of vital services and medical services that are needed, that affirm our faith and our identity. That is genocide. And that is an atrocity. That is an affront to a creator that did not create us to do that and be that. It goes against our very survival instinct to preserve life. So there is something unholy in that, and there is something sinful in that. And we know that the root word of sin, it's an archery term, it means to miss the mark. So all of those who are doing that, they have missed the mark. And they need to know that they have missed the mark and that they are going against the very creation of life, which they claim is so important to them. If it truly was, they would not be trying to erase you and me and to take away women's rights. And so transgendered women as sacred resistance, we look at that. Isn't it revealing that they call trans women men in order to delegitimize us? And yet trans women are on the front line of fighting for women's rights, aren't we? So we are demanding the right to vote, to live safely, to have bodily autonomy, to love freely, to work and express and serve in the roles that align with our spirits, with my spirit. And we are resisting the patriarchy, not with weapons, but with identity. And isn't it ironic that those who fear the feminine so much are obsessed with it? From policing restrooms to obsessing over anatomy, the right-wing evangelical machine has to be named, and it has a deep predilection for what it claims to despise. So let us say clearly, trans women exist in opposition to patriarchy. We do not submit to it. We exist as living challenges to the rigid gender roles that were designed to keep everyone, including cis and trans, male and female and beyond, in tiny, tiny boxes of what they believe we are to be. And the same is true for trans men. Our sacred transitions, our becoming, our spiritual revolutions. We are not threats. We are truth tellers. We are not perversions. We are prophecies fulfilled. So I ask you again, if trans women are fighting for women's rights, who are the men in this story? If the only role they will give you is submission, is their God worth serving? If love must be punished to protect order, is that order righteous, or is it rotten at the core? So let us have a prayer, our prayer of resistance. Let us take a moment to pray, not out of fear, my friends, but out of the fire. Let us pray to awaken. Dear God, God of all genders and no gender, God of the womb and the word, God of breath and bone, we rise in your name to say no more. No more to shame-based religion, no more to forced obedience, no more to the myth that holiness requires hiding. We affirm that our bodies are sacred, our sex is sacred, our transitions are sacred, our love is sacred, our pleasure is sacred, and our refusal to be erased is divinely ordained. We will not go back to the Inquisition. We will not go back to the stake. We will not go back to silence. We are here and we are holy, and we will not be moved. Amen, and so it is. So, beloveds, today we enter sacred ground. The ground is not beneath our feet, but within our bodies and within our stories, with the fullness of who we are, masculine, feminine, both, neither, and all that we are becoming. Know that you are a sacred being. We are sacred beings, wrapped in skin and light. And our sexuality, our gender, our expression, these are not things to hide or judge or to fix. They are the living architecture of the divine and made beautiful. So let us go back, not 2,000 years, but how about 1.5 million years? It's thought that we were a matriarchy where women were revered 1.5 million years ago. That's a little too long ago, for sure. The rise of a patriarchal society, as we know, was 10 to 12,000 years ago. There is evidence of primordial goddesses dating back to the Paleolithic era. Ishtar, goddess of love, is the earliest recognized deity in written evidence. It is time, my friends, to honor both the divine masculine and the divine feminine into an epicene blending of harmony. No one is above another, and we can live in harmony and balance of the sexes. We can honor the gifts each brings to the world. That is from The Nature of Miracles, page 191. So no, this is our moment to return, not backwards, but forward into remembrance. For generations, we've been taught a very fractured image of God, that he's some bearded man high in the clouds, issuing commandments and judgment. But in truth, the divine cannot be contained by any one gender, form, or name. She is the goddess, he is the father. They are the mystery in between. And you and I are the embodiment of that sacred love made flesh. Let me say that again. You and I are the embodiment of that sacred love made flesh. So know that sacred sexuality is divine. Sexuality is so often misused, misunderstood, it's vilified at its core. The creative spark of the universe, the very energy that brings galaxies into being, pulses through our cells. I want you to know that your desire is not shameful, that your orientation is not broken, your gender is not a mistake, and your transition is not a deviation. Your body is not wrong, and your pleasure is not unholy. All of it is divine expression. Can you feel that? Can you feel that all of that desire and your orientation and your gender and your transition, wherever you're at, your body, your physical body, the pleasure you feel when you're with another, that is a divine expression? And if someone has told you that it's not, they were wrong and they were misguided, and they have led you to a path of shame and guilt which you do not deserve. And I ask you and invite you to break free from those chains that have bound you for so long, the chains of our ancestors who were silenced and hung and burned and thrown into the rivers and burned at the stake and beaten. Now it is time to let that go and to break those chains, those ancestral chains going back hundreds and thousands of years. Are you ready? Are you ready to break the chains that bind you and to move forward into the becoming of what you came here to be, and to stand in your full power and your full glory of the divinity that is within you, not in arrogance and not in pridefulness to boast or try to have dominion or power over others, but to stand in your own power, which is unshakable, it is unbreakable, and no one can take that from you. So know, to express your full self, your truth, your identity, and your love, it is to worship. And it is to sing the cosmic song of balance and rebirth. And we're here today to balance the divine energies. The old world tried to convince us that power belonged just to one side and one gender and one way of being, and it is doing that again. But power without love is tyranny. Let me say that again. Power without love is tyranny. We're not going to live in tyranny. And love without power cannot protect itself. So today we call forward the divine masculine into this moment and the divine feminine within each of us. And it is not in opposition, but it is in sacred union. So we declare, and let us affirm together, I am the nurturer and the protector. I am the nurturer and the protector. I am the dreamer and the builder. I am the dreamer and the builder. I am the moon and the sun. I am the moon and the sun. I am she, I am he, I am they, I am we. I am she, I am he, I am they, I am we, and we are one. And I am holy. And you are holy, my friends, and so it is. And so we have some channeled guidance that came to me for today's service, and this message is, your body is a gift. So let us now receive a direct message from the Nature of Miracles, pages 399 to 400. A reminder from our angelic guides about the divinity of embodiment, the embodiment of this body, the creation of this body, this flesh, this human existence, yours and mine, and everyone else's in the world. Your angelic guides see you and know that you are fascinated with all the joys of the human experience, all the sensations, eating, breathing, smelling, touch, sight, intimacy, romance, sensuality, sexuality, sex, and orgasms. The spiritual awareness is the greatest climax of human and spiritual experience as they are one. We're just going to do a little adjustment on our TikTok. Excuse me for one moment. I think after 1 hour we have to put a little tiny puzzle piece into place so we can continue on with the service. I think they just give us 1 hour on live and then we have to reconfirm. So let us go back to that. The spiritual awareness is the greatest climax of human and spiritual experience as they are one. As a gift of being human, again, in this lifetime, you are blessed with all the senses and the sixth sense. We have a sixth sense, and you are allowed to experience all the wonders of the human body, of your body. This beautiful organic machine and divine instrument that you are. It is not always easy being human, but you have a long life ahead, and I am clearing the way for you. I am surrounding you in love and light. From the Nature of Miracles, page 399 to 400. So your body, yes, yours is not a mistake. It is what? A divine instrument. Can you say that with me? My body is a divine instrument. My body is a divine instrument. Pleasure, intimacy, orgasm, even heartbreak are sacred touch points on your soul's journey. These experiences bring us back to the truth that spirit and flesh are not enemies, as we have been told, but they are lovers and they are one together. So let us affirm our divine nature. Let us speak the sacred affirmation aloud or silently to yourself. I express my true nature of love in all I do. I see the true nature in others. They are love. There is an overabundance of love in my life and on the planet. I release all past negative consciousness and I return to a balance of male and female principles in my life. There is harmony between the sexes. There is harmony in my life. And there is harmony on the planet and in the universe. The Nature of Miracles, page 192. This affirmation is a sacred spell. It is a healing decree. It is a prophecy we now speak into being. And what are we moving towards with this? We are moving towards a world transformed by love, not hate. If we want to end war, then we must start by ending the war within ourselves, especially the war against our own bodies, against queerness, against femininity, against desire, against truth. When we embrace ourselves fully, we uplift the planet. When we honor each other's sacred identity, we co-create heaven on earth. And there is also one more war that is going on. There is the war against what others believe is not toxic masculinity, but it is. There is a war against a wrong form and understanding of what masculinity is and what it is to be a man or to be a woman. And so there is a war on the spiritual identity of men, believing them to be something that they're taken from a biblical sense or some misdirected and misguided sense. And you hear a lot of talk about toxic masculinity, and it really kind of goes back to really outdated and outmoded beliefs that, you know, men shouldn't feel, or they shouldn't cry, or they shouldn't show emotions, or they shouldn't be sensitive. Those are things just for women. So really, in that, if they think they're somehow acting or being like a woman, and that's the war against femininity, against compassion, and against tenderness, and against love in that way. So it is an all-out war, certainly, on gender and identity. And so when we embrace ourselves fully, we uplift the planet. And when we honor each other's sacred identity, we co-create heaven right here on earth. So today, let us be a resurrection of reverence for yourself, for the Divine Mother, for the sacred masculine, for queer bodies, for trans bodies, for aging bodies, for disabled bodies, and sensual bodies, and holy bodies, because all are holy. And our closing blessing is, I bless you now. May you walk in wholeness. May your sexuality be a sanctuary. May your truth be your temple. May your love set the world free. And may the winds of the Spirit carry your beauty to the four corners of the earth. You are sacred, you are sovereign, and you are seen, and so it is. Amen. And let us take all of that in to our time of meditation. And our meditation this evening is the healing of the sacred masculine and feminine within and without. Know that God is equally female and male, and fluid at the same time, sexless, genderless, and yet everything and every one of us also at the same time. So close your eyes, breathe in deeply, and exhale slowly. Let your breath carry you into a space of peace and balance. Let each inhale welcome your divine truth. Let each exhale release shame, fear, guilt, and judgment. Know that you're safe, you're sacred here, you are whole here. With your next breath in, deep breath, bring your awareness to the sacred feminine within you. Feel her gentle strength, her intuitive wisdom, her creative, nurturing presence. Now invite the sacred masculine within you to rise. Feel his protective grace, his focused clarity, his courage to act with love and justice. Let them now meet inside you, not in conflict, but in harmony, not in hierarchy, but in union. Let them now hold hands. Feel the womb and the sword both resting in your spirit, equal, balanced, whole. Let the divine feminine and masculine energies in you merge into radiant wholeness. You do not need to fight yourself. You are not too much of anything. You are exactly where you were divinely created to be. And now imagine this energy radiating outward from your body to your home, to your city, to your country, to the world. See the entire planet wrapped in sacred light, slowly shifting into perfect balance and harmony. See women, men, trans men, trans women, non-binary and intersex people thriving, loving, and being loved without fear. There is no threat in authentic gender expression. There is no threat in sacred sexuality. There is only fear when love is misunderstood, and we send healing light to those still trapped in that fear, to those gripped by the spiritual malady of resentment and shame. We send grace. To those preaching hatred in the name of righteousness, we send compassion. We do not match their hatred, we heal it. We envision a world that no longer feels fear, that no longer fears a future of equality. A world where no one is punished for who they are. A world where no one must choose between safety and authenticity. A world where love between two women, between two men, between transgender people, between all expressions of sacred union is honored. Say to yourself now, softly or silently, my gender is sacred. My sexuality is God-given and good. I'm free to be who I am. I love without shame. I am in perfect harmony. Let us now place a vision in our collective hearts, a world where the sexes are not in battle, but in balance, where sacred masculinity is protective, not oppressive, where sacred femininity is intuitive, not submissive, where gender-diverse people are seen as teachers of spiritual truth, not threats to order, where fluidity is not feared but welcomed as divine artistry, where you are enough, just as you are. And now take in one final breath as we affirm together. We are healing the duality within ourselves, and in doing so, we heal the world. We are the vessels of sacred love. We are the radiant light of balance, truth, and harmony. And so it is. Amen. And feel yourself coming back to this space and time. Wiggle your toes. Feel yourself sitting in your seat or the space beneath you as you come back into this moment. And we're going to see about our new song, In Perfect Balance. I'm not sure that we have our enough on our speaker here. Let's see if we have that. Okay. Let's see if we can connect with that. And so let's take all of that in as we contemplate where we have just been as we're healing the sacred masculine and feminine within and without, as we take in our new song for this week, In Perfect Balance. Let's see if we can connect. Okay. I think we did it. Okay. Oh, let's see. Well, maybe we're not going to have it, our speaker. Okay. Okay, let's see where we're at. No, I think that we're going to try another way this evening. Let's see if we can do it this way. No, we're almost there. Okay. Okay, we'll try one more time. Let's see. Okay, we got it. Enjoy.
I was told what I should be, boxed in roles they wrote for me. The flame inside still burns, calling me to live and learn. There's no shame in how I love, there's no fear in what I am. I was made from sacred hands, both the goddess and the man. In perfect balance, I am free, not one or the other, but divinely me. No more hiding, no more pain, sacred flows in every name. Love is holy, pure and true, and God is every shade in you. In perfect balance, I rise in you. In perfect balance, I am you. Some would tear the truth apart, but the laws and lies that break the heart. But we are rising bold and wise, with healing light that never dies. It's okay to just be still, feel your body, heart, and move. You are sacred, every part, made in love. No black fear or fear, shame, not bound by the chains. In every chapter, love shines bright. You walk the world right. In perfect balance, we are free. Not one nor the other, but divinely we. No more silence, no more shame. We rise in love and speak our names. Love is holy, fierce, and true, and God is every shade and hue. In perfect balance, we break through. In perfect balance, I am you.
Well, thank you. And that was our song for the week, In Perfect Balance. We finally got it to work. And I invite you to go to our YouTube channel or TikTok, and you can read the lyrics of all of our sacred music playlists. And all of these songs, they are created brand new for our services. They are AI generated, but each is tailored to our message. And I truly believe in the healing power of music, whether it's sung live or even by beautiful AI. It is amazing. And so what a great message that we have today. It says, we rise in love and speak our names. Love is holy, fierce, and true, and God is every shade and hue. In perfect balance, we break through. In perfect balance, I am you. How beautiful is that? What a great message. All right. Our service did go a little long today because we did share and take some extra time today for our preamble, our mission, our vision, and to review our core beliefs. And also our service message was also a little bit longer today and a little bit longer meditation. And part of that comes from a new blog post on our website. You can go to universalrainbowfaith.org and scroll down to the bottom of the homepage or click on the right-hand side for our blog post. And our latest blog article is Beyond Binary, Embracing the Divine Diversity of Womanhood. And it's in an interview style about womanhood and gender diversity and why compassion must lead the way. So I invite you to go and to read that article and all of the many wonderful articles that are available. And part of our service was inspired from this blog post and this article that I wrote. So I think you'll really enjoy those. There's so much great information and inspiration there. And so now is our time for our tithes and offerings. Know that your love supports our sacred mission, and you can go to the universalrainbowfaith.org /give. I give with love, I receive with joy, I am blessed. And we are working to continue these online ministries, and also to a building expansion fund, a global ministry and national ministry outreach for more churches. Universal Rainbow Faith in your area, in your neighborhood. But of course, online, we're everywhere. And so let us affirm, I give with love, I receive with joy, and I am blessed. And our closing blessings today, go forth in the truth of your sacred body, the light of your holy love, and the courage of your divine spirit. You are whole, you are holy, and you are free. And feel free to join in our closing song, our opening and closing song, Embrace Togetherness, which is also on the Universal Rainbow Faith under, you can go to our YouTube on Sacred, our music collection, and also TikTok as well. And today we are going to skip our meet and greet. We usually have a minister meet and greet at the end, but we went quite over on our service. And so I thank you all for tuning in this week. Mark your calendars for next Sunday at 5:30. We usually have about a 45-minute to 1 hour program. Sometimes for special occasions, and we do go over. So I thank you for being here and look forward to seeing each and every one of you. You can also email us at contact@universalrainbowfaith.org. Go to our website, use the various contact methods, and you can reach out on our social media or call and leave a message. Our phone number is on our website. In every color we unite, together we shine, bring the light through stormy weather, through the pain. With open hearts, we'll break the chains. It's you and me, we'll stand so tall in the rainbow's embrace. We'll never fall. Hand in hand, we'll share the dreams, a tapestry of love woven at the seams. With every hue of voice is strong, together as one, where we all belong. It's you and me, We'll rise above in the rainbow's embrace. We spread our love in every corner of the earth. We sing a symphony of hope that unity brings. With every color, let our love soar together as one forevermore. And thank you, and namaste and blessings, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Bless all of you as you go forth into this week in strength and power and loving yourself fully and completely. I love you, I bless you, and I thank you, and we will see you next week. Thank you.